So I've been thinking, like, this could go one of two ways, right? Like, one, oh, there's someone parking. I see a guy with a green beanie. Wonder if that's him. Oh no, that's not him. Either this is gonna be one big scam and like this is just gonna be a bust, or there's a guy pulling up. Anyway, one of two ways. It's gonna be a scam, or it's gonna be like a really smooth, easy transaction. I guess we'll find out. I don't know. All right, so this is pretty much what I'm looking at right now. There's a bunch of dorms. And yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for someone to pull up next to me and be like, hey, you Mark. But yeah, I mean, it is very pretty. It is very pretty. I am basically in like the woods. So yeah, we'll see. This is gonna be interesting. I've never done an in-person trade like this before, and I've never done a trade this big. So I'm pretty nervous, but I'm very excited. I'm meeting the sister of the seller, so I don't know what she looks like. I don't have her number, but she knows my number, and so I told the seller to have her contact me as soon as she got here. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. I don't know what she looks like, so she's got to contact me. But yeah, kind of just waiting. Oh, we have a car. Let's see who this is. Let's see. This might be them. All right, here we go.
We're here. Hello.
Hello, I'm Real.
Hey.
How you doing?
Are you in the car?
Hey, how's it going? I am.
Oh, okay. Do you want to see all of them, or do you want me to just go ahead and do the switcheroo for you? Okay. Actually, you could have called me back. Do you want him to just like show you all of them, or what do you want me to do? Because you know everything that you need, right?
Hey everybody, I'm Asian Funk. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about how I traded half of my comic book collection for this. This is a 5.0 CBCS graded Amazing Spider-Man #1. This is not a reprint. This is not a facsimile. This is the original first issue from 1963. This has the second appearance of Spider-Man, the first appearance of J. Jonah Jameson, and my favorite villain, the Chameleon. It also has the origin of Spider-Man retold. It is also the first time the Fantastic Four have crossed over and met Spider-Man. For those of you who don't know, Amazing Spider-Man #1 is one of the most sought out and iconic Marvel Silver Age comics that you can collect. This cover has been parodied, homaged, and copied over and over. This cover is about as iconic as Amazing Fantasy 15 or Hulk 1 or X-Men 1 or any of the first issues. But me being a longtime Spider-Man fan, this book means the most to me, which is why I traded half of my comic book collection for this. Now, before I get into the details of how I went about making such a huge trade, I just want to say thank you to all the subscribers who have hung around this channel. I know I haven't really been posting a lot and just really got caught up in being a collector and enjoying the hobby. So now I'm back to make videos about all the stuff I've been doing. So yeah, just want to say thank you for sticking around, and I hope you enjoy the video. So a couple of weeks ago, I was perusing a comic book Facebook group, and I happened to see a 5.0 Amazing Spider-Man #1. And whenever I see a post like that, normally those books are gone, right? Someone buys them instantly. You don't even have a chance to think about it, make an offer, any of that stuff. By the time it's posted, it's gone. But for some reason, no one had claimed this book. In the sales description, the seller was open to trades, which is actually pretty rare. A book like this never hangs around too long. It always passes hands really quickly. And because of that, most sellers just want cash. No trades. I've been collecting comics for a while now, and I accumulated actually quite a bit where I was kind of like, I'm ready to downsize some of my comics. And for a better part of my hobby, I didn't have anything that was worth an Amazing Spider-Man #1. Did I really have anything that would be worth trading? And you know, you don't know until you make the offer. And so I thought long and hard about what I wanted to offer. And I kept telling myself, if this book is still available, if no one has claimed it, then I will make an offer. A few days went by, no one had claimed it, so I reached out to the seller via Facebook Messenger. I asked him, hey, is this book still available? And he said yes. And I said, great. Would you be willing to trade? And he said, yeah, sure, show me what you have. And so I basically offered all my most expensive, high valued comics that I would be willing to let go. I had nothing left. That was basically like half of my, high-end comic book collection. So there's 23 books total. There are 14 raw books and 9 graded slabs. 8 of them are CGC and 1 of them is a CBCS. The books overall kind of consist of a mix of Golden Age, Silver Age, and Bronze Age books. Several of them are first appearances. A bunch of them have, historical comic book significance. And I'll go ahead and explain that as I flip through them. So as you can see here, the lowest graded slab book I have is a 1.8, and the highest graded slab book I have is a 5.5. And there are several ones in between, basically almost every grade between that range. The raw books do vary even more, but they're more, on the low end to mid range. I don't really have any, really high graded raw books. I'm more of a collector of the lower grade. As long as it presents well and is complete, I'm okay with missing pieces and, covers that are barely hanging on. But yeah, let's go ahead and dig in and see what I am trading. So the first raw book that I have up for trade is X-Men 3, the first appearance of Blobby here. This was actually a book that I was pretty happy to pick up. I was very happy with the way it presented. It has some foxing, some browning on the edges of the cover, but it is complete. It is attached. The cover is attached. The color, the whiteness of the cover is not that great. It is definitely a tan colored book, but I was very happy to pick this up for a good price. And it, he's got like maybe a red pimple on his boob, but yeah, otherwise this is a pretty clean low grade X-Men 3. The next book I have is X-Men 4. This is definitely a low grade copy. I would probably say this is maybe a 0.5 to a 1. The spine is tore up. It is hanging on by a thread, but it is attached. This is the first appearance of the Brotherhood of Evil. Love this cover. Really sad to see this one go. Not a very easy book to find, but yeah, very, very happy that this is going to a good home. All right, next up we have X-Men 10. This is the first appearance of Kazar and Zabu. And yeah, this is another one of those copies where I was just really, really happy that I was able to pick up. The cover is definitely on the wider side. Condition's really good. I would say this is probably a 2 or a 3. Yeah, sad to see this one go, but happy it's going to a good home. All right, now we have X-Men 12, first appearance of Juggernaut. Yeah, really, really love this cover. I already have a graded copy of this, so this was just a nice pickup. I always like to have a raw copy on hand. But yeah, really good colors, complete, attached, solid copy. Sad to see it go. All right, so those were that was it for the X-Men copy. So that was it for the X-Men run. We are now moving on to Amazing Spider-Man. This is ASM 4, first appearance of the Sandman. This is actually one of those funny covers because it actually looks like an interior page. It's not like one splash image. It's like 4 panels. So very rare to see that in a cover back in the 60s. So, but yeah, really fun cover. Not the biggest fan of Sandman, so I'm not sad to see this one go, but it is beat up. But yeah, pretty good copy for a low end. And that was it for Amazing Spider-Man. We are moving on to DC. We've got Hawkman, number 4. This is Hawkman number 4. This is probably the only Hawkman issue that people care about, or at least collectors and resellers and flippers. This is the first appearance of Zatanna. This has the first appearance of Zatanna. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like, where is she? She's not even on the cover, but she's in here. All right, next up we're back to Marvel. This is a Golden Age Submariner, number 22. I really love this cover. I love that you can kind of see underwater and what's going on. You can see what's going on above the water and under the water. One of my favorite Submariner comics. One of my favorite Submariner covers. Really sad to see this one go, but glad it's going to a good home. All right, we have an even earlier Golden Age book. This is Green Lantern number 16. I picked this one up because just look at the condition. Like, the blacks on this cover are incredible. This book is old, you know, like super old. I think probably 40s, 50s. And it looks fantastic. Even through the plastic, it is incredible. It has, you know, like a little bite mark over there, but everything is attached, is complete. This is a beautiful, beautiful cover for something that is this old. And I bought this cover I bought this book because it reminded me of sort of like that Indiana Jones. It has like that, you know, Temple of Doom vibe. Yeah, I have not seen this kind of cover for sale very often. I have not seen a copy of this book for sale anywhere. So it's definitely, it may not be very expensive, but it's definitely hard to find, especially in this condition. So I am sad to see this one go, but it is going to somebody who values Golden Age books. All right, next up, this one was tough to let go, but you know, I am no longer. This one was a tough one to let go, but yeah, you know, I have kind of moved on from the Captain America comics, especially the Golden Age. A big reason why I picked this up was this was one of 3 Golden Age covers that John Romita Sr. worked on. And this is, I think, one of the last issues in this Captain America run. And I just really love the pirate vibe. You know, you got the squid and the octopus there, and there's the signature right there at the bottom. Yeah, and it's just not very often you see Captain America swinging around like a pirate ship. So very cool. And yeah, it's in really great condition. I was very, very excited to pick this up. Yeah, sad to see it go. All right, this one was a tough one to let go as well. This was actually probably the favorite of all my detective comics from the Golden Age that I really treasured, but you know, I had to make a decision whether to let this go or not, and you know, I did it. This is Detective Comics 54. This is actually an homage cover to, I believe it was issue 33 by Bob Kane as well, and that issue was that had the origin of Batman. He was literally jumping off a bridge into a vehicle. He might have been jumping into a boat, but now it's a car. So anyway, just really love the colors, love the composition. Really, really sad to see this one go, but yeah, it's going to a good home. All right, next up, this is this is a funny cover. I really enjoyed it. This is Detective Comics 230. First Silver Age appearance of the Mad Hatter. Really love his crazy evil mustache, and just really love the different hats on the wall. It's just a funny cover. This copy in particular is beat to hell. Definitely has tape on the spine. But other than that, I mean, the colors on this are really great. You know, vibrant. So I was really happy to pick this up. I scored it for a pretty good price, but yeah, I am going to send it home. I'm going to send this away. This one, this was a funny acquisition because I'm not a fan of Swamp Thing. I'm not really a fan of, I'm not really a big DC fan, and I'm definitely not a Swamp Thing fan, but you know, everyone's always after this book. This is one of those purchases where you got it because, you know people want it, and it is a, it's a first appearance of Mr. Swamp Thing over here. It's an iconic cover, iconic book, and yeah, I was like, oh, I'll throw in a bid on eBay and see if I win it, and I did. And I was like, well, I guess I got my copy of House of Secrets. This is definitely a low-grade copy. The spine is hanging on by a thread, but it is attached. Cover's pretty good, you know? Colors are good. This is a pretty good low-grade copy. I'm very surprised that I won this at all for what I paid for, like a few years ago. So, yeah, not too sad to see this one go. All right, and the last Raw book I have here for trade is Green Lantern #5. This is probably my oldest Green Lantern book. I got this because I was on this weird, thing where I'm gonna buy covers that kind of look like Superman lifting up a vehicle. So I was like, okay, this is cool that Green Lantern's lifting a tank with his ring. That's a pretty cool image. And yeah, I got this for probably a couple $100 like several years ago. It's definitely, it's ratty. But I always go for books that have really good presentation, really good color. I mean, yeah, there's writing on it. Yeah, the spine is disgusting. It is attached. It is complete. And yeah, colors are good. Colors are really good. Look at that. I was very, very happy to get this. And now I am sad. All right, next up, we have another first appearance, X-Men 14 of the Sentinels. Love this cover. I've got, I think, 3 or 4 other raw copies, and I have a graded copy as well. So just really love this cover. Huge fan of the Sentinels. This, I think, is one of my lower end copies. I think it has like one of those like subscription creases down the center where, basically when they used to either mail it or ship it, it was tied with a string in the center, and that's why you get this weird crease. But yeah, really good book, really great, affordable first appearance to have if you are an X-Men fan. All right, so that's that for the. All right, so that is that. So that's all for the raw books. We're going to move into the slab books, and the first one I have that I am trading away is my Sensation Comics 51. This is the only Sensation Comics I own, and again, I was after books that kind of like paid homage to Superman lifting a car, and what do you know? It literally was an Action Comics #1 homage cover. So yeah. Definitely figured out what this artist was doing, and I was like, I'm all for it. Give it to me. I want it. And this is, white pages for a book from 1946. That's insane. Like, it's a 1/8, but man, this cover looks great. It looks great. I'm not a Wonder Woman fan, but this cover is spectacular. I love it so much. And you even see a little damsel in distress, and there's several damsels in there. I never noticed that. I never noticed there were like 3 other women in the car. But yeah, this is I'm sad. I'm sad to let this one go, but it's for a good cause. All right, next up is a classic cover. This is Batman 251 by Neil Adams. This is actually one of the slabs that I bought when I was at Austin Books and Comics in Texas. They had a really great selection of Silver Age, Bronze Age slab books, and this was only like $60. I couldn't believe how cheap it was. And or no, maybe it wasn't 60. It's probably closer to 100. But I was like, I'll take that. And yeah, it was cool. It was very cool to go to a comic shop that had slabs. You don't really see that very often. Normally and they were in boxes. So it was fun to flip through a box full of slabs in a comic shop, which does not happen very often. But yeah, iconic cover. It was fun to have it, but it's going bye-bye. All right, second to last book. This is Hulk 180, first appearance of Wolverine. I know the debate about 181 being the real first appearance. I'm gonna say right now, this is the true first appearance of Wolverine. He appears he fully appears and he says stuff. That's more than a cameo. It's not like he just showed up in the background and went away. He is interacting with characters. He's saying stuff. He might even be on a full page splash. But this is the first full appearance. I would say first appearance of Wolverine. And yeah, you know, I got this right before people decided that that's what it was. And yeah, you know, love Wolverine, but I love Spider-Man more. So off you go, sir. All right, we have another iconic Bronze Age cover here. It says X-Men 101, first appearance of the Phoenix. This is what I also like to call the cover where Cyclops is gurgling a lot of river water. Yeah, you know, 4 or 5 white pages, solid copy. I was pretty happy to pick this up. But not too sad to see it go, you know? It was fun to have it. So, meh. All right, we made it to the end, and here we have the highest graded book in this box, but not the most valuable book. But this is definitely one of my favorite covers. This is Iron Fist 14, first appearance of Sabretooth. A lot of people forget that Sabretooth is actually a Iron Fist villain, not an X-Men or Wolverine villain. Kind of interesting how that kind of became what it was like in the 90s. But yeah, this is the only CBCS slabbed book in this box. This is the last CBCS book I have in my collection. I think that was probably the only reason why I was able to get this book in such a good condition at such a cheap price, because it was CBCS, which is a grading brand that most people do not consider as the best. So I got lucky. But this cover it's great. It's fantastic. Very clean mid-grade. Sad to see this one go, you know, but yeah, glad that it's going to a good home, and see you later. All right, next up is the book that started my golden age obsession for characters lifting things. This is the cover, you know. This is Action Comics 33, version of Mr. America. I bought this simply for the cover. It's beautiful. 4 or 5. This is the highest graded Golden Age book in my collection. I am devastated to see this one go, but my tastes have changed. I'm a very different collector now. And yeah, you know, it was just great to have owned it. So yeah, it is a beautiful, beautiful 4 or 5. The colors, man, the colors on this book are, this video does not do this book justice. It's beautiful. Yeah, I'm just gonna stare at this for a second. But yeah, no, this was one of the reasons why this trade is happening, because of this book. So yeah, I am sad to see this one go. All right, next up we have Batman 181, A pretty classic Silver Age cover. First appearance of Poison Ivy. Yeah. First appearance of Poison Ivy. I was very surprised to win this book. This cover is, I mean, this is kind of a really cool, you know, missing piece here, because it's not just on the cover, it's on the entire like book on each page. But for some reason it didn't get the signature, so that was pretty nice. The big thing about this book is that apparently it is always missing a like a cutout or like a coupon. And this one is not. This is a complete book. Oh, 666. Oh man, gotta get rid of this book. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, wasn't a really big fan of Poison Ivy, but I was like, you know what? I'll try my hand at winning this book, and I did. So I knew I would be able to resell this at some point, and glad I held on to it, because now it is going to a good home. Another thing to note, this slab in particular is in one of the older CGC slabs. You can tell because the label is like literally exposed. This case is super light and feels kind of feels flimsy, and it's not as clear. It's just kind of like a gray haze over it, so it's definitely an older slab. But yeah, just something to note. All right, so this was my Hail Mary offer to get this deal done. This was the book that sealed the deal. Not surprised, this is one of my grails. This is Captain America Comics 78. This is the last issue in this Golden Age run. This is the cover and art is by John Romita Sr. Yeah. Don't know what else to say, you know. I am gonna miss this book. I'm glad to have owned it. I was looking for a really good looking copy for a few years, and I found one, and it has been an honor to have owned one. It is a beautiful low grade copy. It's got even some rainbow jizz on here. This is one of the few Golden Age books that I submitted to CGC myself back when I was getting into slabbing comics. You know, and it came back at a 2.5 with cream to off-white pages. I was super happy about that. This book is from 1954. And yeah, I paid not a lot for this. I was super happy. Oh la la. Yeah, you know, the John Romita cover and art was not the reason I got this. I did not realize that he had done this until I bought it, and I was like, wow, that's a great, I mean, I didn't even notice the signature, you know, right between the legs. But because I was after the whole like, I want covers where characters are lifting things, right? This is part of that Superman homage thing, and this was the Marvel equivalent of the Captain America. So yeah, sad to let this one go, but yeah, it has been a pleasure and an honor to have owned this book, and on to the next owner it goes, and I'm sure they will be taking very good care of it. All right, next up is a book that I bought for a very funny reason. Not the biggest fan of Fantastic Four or Doctor Doom, but I bought it because it had 2 cover appearances by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby on the bottom left here, which a lot of copies seem to have, you know, it's always missing or cut off or rubbed off. Something's always going on in the bottom left corner of this copy in particular. But man, I was pretty happy to snag this. This is Fantastic Four number 10. They appear in the story. So yeah, I just thought that was kind of funny. That was pretty much the reason I bought this book. You know, this cover has a weird Mr. Fantastic face on here, but you know, obviously he is evil because spoiler, Reed Richards and Dr. Doom swap places, so that's why Dr. Doom is hanging out with or tussling with the rest of the Fantastic Four. But yeah, anyway. Oh, I guess it's not really a spoiler. They just spoiled it on the cover. All right, well, anyway, I take that back. Yeah, 3-0, pretty good. Another Silver Age Fantastic Four cover. And yeah, it's going to a new home. All right, so that is what I am trading away for an ASM #1. The next time you see these books, it will be handed off to someone else. And yeah, it has been a pleasure to own you and to read some of you. I will miss the good times we had, but you know, on to bigger and lesser books. You know, this is part of my transition from quantity to quality. So I'm downsizing a lot of my books for certain keys or books I really want to own. And, you know, it is crazy to think that it is taking this many books for one book. Insane. And I am super fortunate to have found a seller who is letting me do this, who is allowing me to trade all of these books for one book. You know, like I mentioned earlier, it is very difficult to find somebody who will take the time to let you make an offer like this and even agree to it. And then, you know, even after that, the logistics, it's just all of that. You know, I've just been very lucky to have found someone who's letting me do this. So yeah, let's go and make this trade happen. The next day, he responded and said, "You know what? Let's do it." And I could not be there. And when he said that, I almost didn't know how to react. Like, I was so happy and excited that, like, it didn't feel real, right? So, like, I had actually just gotten past the first hurdle, which is, like, making an offer that he would accept. That was the first obstacle. You know, once I came down from the excitement of, like, potentially owning this book that I thought I would never own, the reality set in. You know, like, what if this is a scam? What if this guy isn't who he says he is? What if this book doesn't exist and it's a fake? What if it's not even his? All these scenarios ran through my head. But of course, at this point, I'd already vetted him, right? I've been talking to him for like 2 weeks. He is a pretty popular seller on Facebook. He has an Instagram account where he sells comics too. So he is reputable. He has a reputation among the comic book community, and he has sold books to other people. I've seen other listings he's had. And so he is well known, right? It's easier for you to ship one book to someone, but it's going to be pretty hard for me to ship 23 comics to wherever. And so, of course, the next logical question is, like, where are you located? And, you know, this guy, Derek, he's based in New York. And of course, you know, me being in Oakland, like, we're probably in the 2 furthest points in the country from each other. What ended up happening was Derek, the seller, had a relative that actually lived in San Francisco. And so he had shipped the Amazing Spider-Man 1 to her, and then I met up with that relative. So that was the agreed upon plan. And so that was the second hurdle, was figuring out the logistics. Now the third hurdle was like, okay, this still could be a scam. They've given me an address to meet this person's relative at. I could get murdered, I could get kidnapped, I could get robbed. You know, I've never been to this particular area in San Francisco. And I was like, you know what, I need to bring someone with me. I need to have a wingman. But of course, you know, everyone that I would have brought with me was busy, couldn't make it. So I ended up going by myself. And luckily the location that we agreed upon was pretty public. It was during the day, so it wasn't like the middle of the night or anything. And just so you know, I've never done a big trade like this, especially a trade in person. So looking back, the actual, you know, handoff transaction part took like 2 minutes. It was really quick. Derek's relative came out. She had the book with her. I opened my trunk. there was my short box full of comics. Derek FaceTimed in and he had me kind of flip through the comics one by one. And well, it was kind of nerve-wracking because because we were in a public area. I was reading off these these comic book titles, and even though to most people no one's gonna know what I'm saying, I still felt like I was doing something illegal. I thought I was like dealing drugs or something. So, but anyway, yeah. I went through the box and then we were good. I got my book. I gave her the short box and that was it. It was all over in like a few minutes and I was holding this in my hands, which is crazy. And yeah, I still can't believe it's real. It's like, yeah, it's a restored 5.0 with white pages, but it has extensive professional restoration, which includes color touch, pieces added, interior is lightened, the cover is reglossed, and then there's seals to some tears. But it looks, I'm not a comic book restoration expert, but it looks great to me. I can kind of tell in some areas that it might have been touched up, but it presents really well. And it's a 5.0. I mean, I know probably if I were to get this regraded, it would probably be a 3.0 with a purple label with CGC, which is still great. But I think I'm gonna keep this book in this CBCS slab. It's one of the newer CBS slabs. It's one of the newer CBCS slabs. It feels more substantial. It's thinner. The glass is a lot more clear. So it is a very nice case. So I think I'm gonna leave it in this. Yeah. Couldn't have been happier with the whole process. It was nice to have done one of these. I tried to avoid doing like in-person trades just because, it's just too many risky variables there. But yeah, huge shout out to Derek on Facebook and Instagram. Really great guy, awesome to work with, really professional. And I think that's one of the harder things to find in a seller is their fairness. I want to say thank you to him for being patient with me and giving me the time to really think about what I wanted to offer him and just being open to a trade like this. So this is my big pickup for the year. This is it. Everything else, is just icing. This was the big boy. So yeah, I am super excited, super tired. It was very stressful, just kind of having that in the back of my head. And yeah, it was fun. It was a fun process. So yeah, don't give up on your Grail hopes. It can be done. It might just take time. Thanks again for watching. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Otherwise, I will see you all in the next video.